In the heart of a forgotten village deep within the West African forest lived a man named Okafor. To the villagers, he was nothing more than a skilled herbalist, a quiet man who lived at the edge of the settlement, surrounded by towering iroko trees and strange charms that dangled from their branches. Children whispered about him, women crossed themselves when they passed his hut, and even the bravest hunters avoided his path at night. But Okafor carried a secret darker than any whisper. He was not just a healer. He was a ritualist, bound by a covenant older than the village itself, a covenant that demanded blood, shadow, and silence. Long ago, when Okafor was still a young man, his father revealed to him a hidden shrine beneath their ancestral hut. In its center lay a grotesque mask, carved from ebony wood and painted with dried blood. Its hollow eyes seemed to pierce through his soul. "This," his father whispered, "is the Mask of Shadows. Our family has worn it for generations. It gives power, wealth, and influence. But it feeds only on one thing: human essence." Okafor trembled. His father explained that every full moon, the mask must be fed with life. Failure meant death, not only for the bearer but for their entire bloodline. The first time Okafor wore the mask, he felt the shadows coil around him like serpents, filling his veins with power. He saw beyond the physical world, spirits moving between trees, whispers of ancestors, and the cries of souls trapped in eternal torment. From that day, he was never the same. Over the years, Okafor grew in power. His herbs healed wounds others could not, his charms warded off enemies, and his influence in the village became unmatched. People began to fear him, but secretly, they also depended on him. Whenever crops failed or mysterious illnesses struck, they turned to him. What they did not know was that their relief always came at a cost. Each time Okafor healed the land, someone disappeared: a young maiden, a wandering traveler, a drunk who staggered too far at night. The forest became his hunting ground. He knew the paths where shadows danced, and his victims' cries were swallowed by the thick night air. And with every sacrifice, the mask's eyes glowed brighter. But power breeds arrogance. Okafor began to crave more than survival. He wanted kings to bow before him, kingdoms to fall at his feet. The mask whispered promises to him: "Feed me, and I shall make you a god among men." On the eve of a blood moon, Okafor planned the greatest ritual yet. He would sacrifice 10 souls in one night, binding the spirits to the mask forever. He lured travelers with promises of safe passage, hosted a feast for the village youths, and prepared his shrine deep in the forest. But the ancestors were watching. Among the villagers was a woman named Nena, a seer whose dreams often revealed hidden truths. She had seen Okafor cloaked in shadows, holding the mask dripping with blood. She knew the time had come to end his reign of terror. That night, as Okafor chanted before the mask, shadows rose around him, writhing like black flames. He had already taken the first 3 souls, and the mask pulsed with life. Just as he lifted his blade for the 4th, Nena and the elders stormed the shrine with charms, cowrie shells, and sacred incantations. The air grew heavy, the ground shook, and the mask screamed with a voice that was not human. The shadows fought back, tearing at the villagers, extinguishing their torches. But Nena stood firm, raising a mirror carved with ancient symbols. "Okafor," she cried, "the shadows you serve demand your soul tonight." The mask turned on him. His body twisted, his eyes bulged, and the shadows dragged him into the shrine's altar. His screams echoed through the forest until silence fell. When the villagers regained their courage and relit their torches, the mask lay on the ground, its eyes now dim, its surface cracked. Okafor was gone. The shrine was buried, sealed with sacred earth, and forbidden forever. But elders whispered that the mask was not destroyed, only sleeping. Sometimes, travelers still claimed to hear screams deep in the forest at night, and shadows that move without wind. And some say that when the blood moon rises again, the mask of shadows will call for a new bearer. Years passed after Okafor's disappearance. The forest grew over the shrine, burying it in vines and root. The villagers never spoke of him, except in hushed whispers meant to scare disobedient children. Do not stray into the forest at night, or Okafor will find you. But time weakens memory. New generations rose, and with them came arrogance. The young mocked the old stories, calling them superstition. To them, Okafor was nothing but a myth. Yet in the silence of the forest, the mask of shadows still pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat waiting to rise again. One fateful day, a skilled hunter named Obina chased a wounded antelope into the forbidden part of the forest. In his pursuit, he stumbled upon a mound of earth covered in carvings he did not understand. At its center, half buried in roots, lay the mask, cracked but intact. The moment he touched it, the forest grew quiet. Birds stopped singing. The air chilled. And in his mind, a voice whispered, "Wear me, and you shall be more than a man." Obina hesitated. He had heard fragments of the old stories. But he was ambitious, tired of living as a poor hunter, mocked by chiefs and ignored by maidens. Greed whispered louder than fear. He picked up the mask and took it home. That night, Obina placed the mask on his face. At once, shadows coiled around him, just as they had around Okafor long ago. His body trembled, his heart pounded, but then, power surged through him. His eyes saw in the dark, his ears caught whispers from miles away, and the wounds on his body closed instantly. He laughed, drunk on strength. But deep within, the mask murmured, "Feed me." At first, Obina resisted. But soon, misfortune struck. His traps failed, his prey escaped, and hunger gnawed at him. In desperation, he followed the voice of the mask. The first soul he claimed was that of a traveler who camped near the village outskirt. Obina swore it would be the last. But the taste of power was intoxicating. Each sacrifice made him stronger, faster, untouchable. The villagers noticed his sudden fortune. His hunts grew plentiful, his wounds healed miraculously, and his eyes seemed to glow under the moonlight. Whispers began again. "Another Okafor walks among us." Far away, Nena, the old seer who had defeated Okafor, was now frail, her hair silver, her body weak. But her dreams still carried the voice of the ancestors. One night she awoke screaming, for she had seen the mask again, its eyes glowing, its hunger reborn. "The shadows live once more," she warned the elders. "If left unchecked, Obina will not stop. The mask will consume the land itself." But the elders hesitated. Many secretly admired Obina's power. Some even sought his help in secret, just as they once depended on Okafor. Nena knew the curse had begun again. Obina grew bolder. He stopped hiding his rituals. Sometimes villagers awoke to find charms tied to their doors, their goats slaughtered, or strange symbols painted in ash upon the earth. Those who opposed him fell sick or vanished mysteriously. Fear spread like wildfire. Some fled the village. Others worshipped him in secret, offering gifts to avoid his wrath. The mask whispered promises. "Do not be content with a village, Obina. Take kingdoms. Spill rivers of blood. I will make you a god." And Obina listened. But Nena's visions also revealed a sliver of hope. A child born under a solar eclipse, marked with the symbol of the ancestors. This child would have the power to break the curse of the mask forever, if they survived long enough to face it. The problem was that Obina had also begun to dream. And in his dreams, he saw the same child, his only threat. And so, the hunter became the hunted. Obina, the new ritualist, growing drunk with power. The seer Nena, too old to fight but still guiding. A prophecy of a child who may destroy the mask once and for all. On a day when the sun and moon clashed in the sky, casting the land into an eerie twilight, a child was born. Her name was Adaeze, daughter of a poor farmer and his wife. From the moment she arrived, strange things happened. The chickens stopped crowing, the river near the village bubbled without cause, and the midwife swore she saw a glowing mark on the baby's chest, a spiral like the ancient symbols carved on the forbidden mound. Whispers spread quickly. The child of the eclipse has come.